Hello and welcome back, artists, to another episode of Paint Along with Skye. I'm glad you've taken a moment to pause and get creative today. Since today is just the day after, 2 days after Thanksgiving, the day after Black Friday, I figured everyone's got holiday shopping on the brain. So why not provide an alternative to buying store-bought gifts, which is hand-painted gifts? So this is something that I love to give for the holidays, or for whatever holiday it is that you celebrate each year. I gave all my friends painted ornaments last year for their Christmas trees, and they really liked it. I think they did. At least they pretended like they did. So I have two really simple wintry scenes that we're going to create today. I just picked up some basic wooden ornaments from my local craft store. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. And this is going to be a really simple tutorial today with not very many colors. So we're working just with these cool colors. Today I have a nice teal, blue, purple, black, and white, and that is it. Just two brushes today as well, keeping it really simple for these guys. Just have a pointy medium brush and a baby brush. So go ahead and take those brushes, as you know, and put them in the water cup. I have a water cup as well as paper towels set on the side here. I did have a suggestion to create a video on how to set up to paint, and I think that's a great idea. So I'm going to create a special video just for that so that you guys can feel confident and paint along. Okay, without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, I'm going to scoot that guy off the screen for a second, and I think I'm going to start with this one. All right, so I'm going to use my larger of the two brushes, which is a kind of a medium-sized brush here. Pushing off the screen for now, one at a time. Stay focused. Okay, and I'm just going to start with a regular old blue. I'm going to bring that to the side here, and I'm going to add just a pinch of black to make it a bit more of a navy blue. As you can see, a little bit of black goes a long way. You can add more blue. Some of the best advice that I've ever heard was don't apply the color when you know it's wrong. Sounds simple, but I have to remind myself that all the time. So in our daily lives, we're so rushed and we run around. Now is time to relax and be calm and only do things that you feel confident with. So don't apply that blue until you are happy with that navy color. Okay. And now I'm going to create a horizon line, which is something that I like to do to kind of create space within the painting, sense of place. Okay. And then from there up, I'm going to go ahead and just fill it in back and forth with that beautiful navy blue. I'm not going to paint the sides of these. I'm just going to leave them as is. I'm going to try not to get too much paint that falls off the edges. Now when you're painting on wood, and even really on canvas, brush stroke direction matters. So I'm kind of using my brush here to fill it all in, but what I want to do afterwards is sort of get all the brush strokes going back and forth. That's really going to make a difference, make it look really neat and intentional. It's all about the details, okay? And then I'm just going to grab a little bit of white, and I'm going to add some nice snowy clouds. Very nice. On either side. And you want it to look kind of streaky still, so that looks good to me. Okay, I'm going to rinse my brush. And now I'm just going to create a much lighter blue for my frosty ground. Just trying to go across straight as I can. And then all the way to the bottom. Again, using my brush to fill in, but then going back over those same brush strokes to make them all back and forth consistent. Very nice. Okay. Already looking pretty cute. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of just pure white now, and I'm going to add some snow on my ground. Back and forth brush strokes to the bottom here. It's okay if it blends into the blue. It's kind of what we want. And I'm mostly just doing it right here in the middle. Go. We can add a little bit more snow later. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and use my baby brush. I'm going to create some trees. This is a sort of take on the Bob Ross Happy Tree, where it's done really quickly, nice and messy. So we're doing a nod to the OG here, Bob Ross, Paint Along OG. I'm noticing that my horizon line is actually a little bit crooked, and before I add these trees, I know that's going to drive me crazy, so I'm going to straighten that out real quick. A little bit higher on this side. There. It's better. Okay. It's still a little crooked, but now it doesn't bother me. A lot of times my horizon lines are slightly crooked, but people aren't really going to be looking at your painting like, oh, let's nitpick it, let's zoom in 5 times and make horrible comments. It's not going to happen. It's not what happens at all. Okay, I'm just going to do one tree starting here on the right, and just like OG Bob Ross, just start with a line, go straight down, and then we're going to wiggle our way back and forth. It's okay if it blends with the colors a little bit. All the way down. You might need a bit of black. All the way off the edge. He's a little bit too skinny, so I'm just going to fatten him up. And if you just keep going back and forth and kind of bring the brush strokes out from the center here, you're going to get that nice kind of spiky tree effect. And as you can see up here, I got a little bit of a drip, which is especially detrimental with this wooden ornament. So I'm definitely going to want to cover that up with some paint without water. Okay. Got one little pine tree. He's going to look more like a pine tree once we add some snow on him. And then I'm going to create 2 more on this side. I like to add these trees to lots of different paintings. Once you get the hang of it, it's a really easy element. Going from the center, pulling outwards. This is kind of a 2-for-1 tutorial today. So we'll do 2 little mini paintings, and I'll show you guys different ways to make easy trees. This guy's got some trees in it as well, but these are the deciduous trees. And just wiggling back and forth like a scribbly line. If you're ever nervous about applying black onto your painting directly, use the papered table and practice. Okay, and it's okay if this guy Goes right next to his neighbor. That's what we want. Very nice. Okie dokie. There we go. Okay, I'm going to let those trees dry for just a second. And I'm going to create a little moon. So there's two ways to create a moon. I mean, there's lots of ways to create a moon, but there's two ways that I do it. I do this classic full moon, which you'll see in a lot of my paintings, which is really simple for me, and I'll show you guys how to create it. But alternatively, if you'd like, you can do just a crescent moon, and that's a little bit easier. All right. Just going to start with white. I'm going to create a circle. Okay. And then I'm just going to fill the circle in. Ooh, it's a little bit too much paint. Kind of scribbly also. Creating all that great moon texture. And usually I would add a little bit of gray on this side to shadow it, but I'm actually picking up a little bit of blue naturally. So I'm just going to go with that. That already looks good. So don't mess with perfection, am I right? I'm sort of a dork. You guys will find that out. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit more snow right underneath my moon. It's like lighting up the snow. A beautiful path through the snowy forest. Lovely. Okay, now I'm going to do a cute little trick, which I love doing on a lot of paintings, which is adding snow flurries with the back of my brush. This is a really easy way to create easy circles. Boop. And as you can see, as the paint sort of runs out, you'll get smaller and smaller dots. Okay. And then this black looks like it needs just a second to dry still. So rather than adding the snow, I think I'm going to get started on the background of my second one. I'm just going to push him kind of over there to dry for a second. I'm going to start on this one. Be careful not to get anything on your ribbon. Paint on your ribbon. Sometimes these don't have ribbons attached. I'm just going to keep these original ribbons. But a really fun upgrade would be to maybe do like a silver ribbon. Or like, you know, a cute like Christmas plaid or something like that. That would be adorable. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys this second little mini guy who's about the same level of difficulty, which is fairly easy, I promise. And we're going to start with a purple sky there. And I'm going to add a little bit of white into that. Okay, and now again I'm going to create a horizon line. I'm going to create a curved line here, and then another little baby curve. So that's going to be the two little mountains that we have here. And then I'm going to start with a darker color here at the bottom. You can go from the top down. I know this is unconventional. I usually go from the top down, but I'm going from the bottom up this time. The horizon line to the top of my little ornament. Again, filling in the space and then making the brush strokes consistent. Coming back over it. I swear it matters. You'll see it when it dries. Although it does flatten a little bit, the paint. Okay, and then moving our way up. Getting lighter. And we eventually want to go all the way to really light purple. Mm-hmm. Don't need much paint for these little guys. Really good gift idea. Your family is obligated to love it, whether it's good or not. Perfect gift. And it shows you care. It's a thought and, you know, a little something. Okay, and then our mountains here are going to be this gorgeous teal color, which everyone knows is my favorite. This is, you could create the same color by buying phthalo green and adding white. This is sort of an easy teal right out of the bottle. And I'm going to do the opposite of the first gradation that I did here, where I went from the bottom up. So this time I'm going to go from the top down to create a lighter gradation in our first mountain. As you can see, I'm leaving that little back mountain alone right now. Cut them into two, filling in the space. And then coming back, straightening out the brush strokes, blending those two together. Having these little gradations in these tiny spaces, it looks really detailed, even though it's pretty simple. Okay, looks good. And then I'm going to create a lighter mountain in the background. Things look lighter and smaller as you go away from them. Nice. But I'm going to create a little bit of a shadow on this guy too. Less is best. When in doubt, leave it out. Okay, looking good. Alright, let's see. This guy still needs a second to dry. Okay, but our purple looks dry here, so I'm going to create some trees. This is a different way to do trees. Obviously, these are the deciduous trees who are dormant. Just their bare branches. And I'm going to create some gray trees in the background, again, because gray, we're going to do black in the foreground, and things in the background look lighter and smaller. So gray is just black and white. I have my baby brush. A nice medium sort of pencil gray. And we're just going to do a little tree guy back here. You just want to have a nice thick base of your tree here. And then branches that come out from all directions and have little baby branches that come off of them. Nothing too tricky. Let's do one on the other side. It's important to know where you are in your painting. So like this tree is not necessarily coming from this front hill. Maybe he's poking up from behind from a hill like this guy. So he's in the background. So you wouldn't want to take your gray and apply it in the foreground with this painting. So then you'll lose your effect of multiple layers and you'll confuse yourself. Stay calm. Don't confuse yourself. Smile if you need to. Okay. Alright, we got our cute little gray trees created. I'm liking them. I'm going to create some cute little ferns now. Also, this is sort of like an in-between layer of our forest that we're gazing into. I'm going to use white for this. And there's just more easy shapes to show you guys. Just a line like this. And then you're going to have like almost dots of paint. You can start smaller. You're going to want to get bigger as you get down to the base of our little fern. And they are connected, but I like to kind of go further out first so that I don't get too smooshed. Okay. Maybe do a couple of those guys over here. Learning all kinds of fun forest shapes today. Always start smaller because you can always come back and make things bigger, but it's much more difficult to make things smaller. Okay. And then I'm going to do maybe just 2 over here as well. Try to have these guys go different directions. Again, I know I paint like 1,000,000 miles an hour. That is just from practice. Been teaching painting for over 10 years, so I've built up a lot of dexterity. Don't rush yourself though. These shapes I've come to learn and know, and they're very easy. But take a while and pause the video or rewatch it if you need to. This is just you, maybe your friends, your family, but in your home. There's no judgment. There's no time limit. And there's no grades. Okay, that looks adorable. I love it. I think I like it better than my original. Okay, let's add some snow on this one as well. So again, just taking my brush, back of my brush. You can stop at any point too. So like, I'm already like kind of feeling this. And like, how cute is that just as an ornament also? You don't have to take it all the way. Okay, and then a little snow on the ground too. So the front of the brush, I can see that my teal is still wet, and I want this to be somewhat, have a contrast. So I don't want to blend it too much. Back and forth brush strokes here. So like in these heavier forested areas, there wouldn't be as much snow. There'd be snow more so right here in the clearing. Okay. Cute. Cute. All right. And this guy's still a tiny bit wet. For sake of time, since this is already 20 minutes, I'm just going to add some snow on there right now, but you might want to give it a few minutes to dry before you do this. But you're just going to do little brush strokes as if snow has fallen on to your pine trees here. You actually don't necessarily want it to blend, but again, for sake of time, I'm just going to throw this on here. If you're super impatient, you can pull out your blow dryer, get it all dry, put it in front of your little heater like I have, little tiny space heater, a good distance away. Please don't burn your house down. Gosh, should I have even said that? Okay, cute. So that guy's done, and he's looking cute. And now to finish this guy off. Okay, so I am going to create some black trees in the foreground here. Again, for sake of time, I'm not going to wait for this white to dry, but I do recommend that you do. I'm just going to be really confident and go right through it. You can cover it with black. You hear my dog sneeze. He cannot be quiet for 20 minutes to save his life. That's okay. I love him. And he can't really do anything wrong in my eyes. Okay, and then I'm just creating some branches. You want him to be pretty big. This tree is totally optional. to go right through the white shape that I made, but that's okay. And the same idea over here. Bear with me, almost done. This guy's just a little bit more off to the side, but you can create it however you like. I feel like with this composition, something symmetrical would be just fine. Okay. I'm bringing them out a little bit further. Okay, looking good. I think that about does it for this guy as well. I'll thicken up the trunk a little bit there. And I'm going to add a little sparkly star. This is a really cute way, another little piece de la resistance that I like to add to my paintings, where you can take a dot. I'm going to put one like right dead center because I didn't have one before. Make sure you don't have a drip. And then if you create like a plus sign, and then these little cross hatches like that, you can create a nice little sparkly star. Northern star, maybe. Okay, and that's it for today. I hope you guys liked what we created today. Let me know in the comments if you did. Please hit subscribe to see more videos. I upload a new tutorial video every weekend. Follow me on social media. I'm at Paint Along With Skye on Facebook and Instagram. And if you'd like to support the show, I've got a Patreon and a print shop. Links are going to be below. Thanks for painting along with me today, and we'll see you next time.